guys, ETN Sun here from Sunbros, and today I'm really excited to be bringing you guys the very first official hero guide for Arena of Valor that I'm putting out, and it's going to be on Violet, the Pistol Assassin. Violet is one of the strongest marksmen in the game. A lot of people, talk about her being overpowered. I don't quite think that's the case. I think that I see more people playing Violet who are feeding or not really making much of a difference than I do see people playing Violet who are really carrying the game. I happen to be one of the people who carries the game with Violet. I think she's phenomenal. I think she is got a really interesting and quality toolkit. And today we're going to talk about abilities, tips, and tricks. That is the part 1 of this series. We're going to have a part 2 in which we discuss the build, and we're going to have a MVP gameplay, like a highlights or montage reel, showing you guys what Violet is capable of doing when played in the right hands. Okay, so let's start talking about Violet a little bit. First of all, she's a marksman, obviously. Her role is mobility and finisher, and she is a great finisher. She has crazy attack damage. Her difficulty is pretty high because she's not an easy hero to master. She's easy to play. I mean, using her abilities and doing damage is not that hard on Violet. However, actually mastering her and playing her to the fullest of her abilities is not very easy at all. Now, before we jump into the abilities, I actually want to talk about the background story. I think the background stories in Arena of Valor are really great, and I want to make sure that I go over them. Her quote is, "My gunshots are the remainders of the vampire menace." During the War of Stakes, Violet rose to fame by headhunting a new breed of vampires called princes. The abilities of these new vampires were unorthodox yet advanced. Their offensive strategies involved the casting of spells to produce fireballs and lightning. Some had the ability of flight as well. The princes' abilities provided them with great advantages not easily overpowered. Only the likes of Violet, who had undergone extensive training, could rival the unnatural forces and their magic. The more princes she killed, the more a threat she became, and the more her name was known throughout the princes' ranks. Their collectively seething hatred for Violet amplified their desire to destroy her. It motivated them to commit immense amount of efforts to launch long-distance attacks on her army. Her most powerful weapon was her personal firearm, the Rose of Fate, which won countless battles for her. Unfortunately, it was destroyed by a fireball. Violet immediately became weaker, and her army began to falter. This enraged her. She vowed to defeat them at all costs, not allowing the loss of her weapon to prevent that from ever happening. If vampires feed on humans, then we shall feed on vampires. So that's a pretty good background story. Her firearm, the Rose of Fate's pretty cool name. I really like that. So let's go and take a look at her. She has one skin. It's called the Sharpshooter skin. Kind of makes her look like a secret agent. Nice little dress on. She got some 2 cool guns. Her hair color turns red. Pretty nice skin overall. But alright, let's go ahead and talk about her abilities. Her first ability is Reload. Normal attacks reduce tactical fire's cooldown by 0.5 seconds. Tactical fire is her first ability, and we'll go over that. That is a 5-second cooldown with 50 mana cost to start. Violet rolls forward, enhances her next normal attack, and deals extra physical damage to enemies on a straight line. The subsequent normal attack within a short period of time retains the range of the enhanced normal attacks. Tactical fire also grants 50% movement speed bonus that declines over 2 seconds if there are enemy heroes nearby after rolling. So let's kind of go over that real quick. Obviously, it gets her a bunch extra damage on her basic attack. That's part 1. It goes through enemies, so it'll hit a really long range line and hit everyone in that line. And the subsequent normal attack within a short period of time retains the range of the enhanced normal attack. So she basically shoots 2 shots back to back. The enhanced attack, which kind of pierces, and then bam bam, and the second attack, which is also going to hit. And have the enhanced range. And then Tactical Fire also grants a 50% movement speed bonus that declines over 2 seconds if there are enemy heroes nearby after rolling. So it can be something she can use to get a safety or to kind of catch up and finish enemies off. Tactical Fire is probably one of the best abilities in the game. It's her best ability by a mile. But it isn't nearly as easy to use as you would think. We're going to talk about that in the tips and tricks section of the video. Next, we're going to be talking about her second ability, Fire in the Hole. With a 10-second cooldown and 80 mana cost to start, Fire in the Hole, Violet throws a grenade, dealing a bunch of physical damage to enemies within range, and slowing their movement speed by 90% for 1 second. So this ability actually casts out pretty slowly. It takes time for her to throw it, and then it takes time for it to travel and land and explode and like that. The slow is significant, but it isn't easy to land. It takes time to master, because you really have to throw it ahead of the enemy and kind of predict where they're going to go and stuff like that, because it does take a good amount of time, but and the damage is not substantial. Next, we're going to talk about her ultimate, Concussive Rounds. Concussive Rounds is a 30-second cooldown and 140 mana cost to start. Violet fires concussive rounds at nearby enemies, dealing a bunch of physical damage. Really simple ability. It does damage, it fires in a straight line, it can't hit minions, it's going to essentially hit the first thing that it does, and it's going to explode and do some AoE damage. But concussive rounds is actually pretty solid. Most people don't know how to use it properly, and we're going to go over that now. We're going to talk about tips and tricks to using her abilities properly. So first of all, reload. Normal attacks reduce tactical fire's cooldown by 0.5 seconds. So essentially what you're going to be going for here is making sure that you, as often as you can, are shooting off basic attacks or normal attacks to get the cooldown reduction down on her first and most powerful ability. Additionally, because we are going to build some lifesteal on her, always be shooting stuff whenever you get a chance to get life back. It's essential in your fighting situations to get as much life back as you can, because she is like all the way in on fights. Now, the tips and tricks we're going to give you for tactical fire is this. Very, very rarely are you going to want to jump forward with tactical fire. More often than not, you're going to want to jump horizontally or side to side. Obviously, if you're chasing an enemy hero, you're going to want to jump forward, or if you are trying to escape, you're going to want to jump backwards. But more often than not, you're either going to jump side to side or kind of at a quartered angle. And then obviously, you can jump over walls with this. It does allow you the ability to jump over walls. And you can also kind of roll around the circle area of towers to shoot enemies who are trying to hide in their towers. And you can also shoot towers itself. If you actually roll outside of the range of towers, when she gets up from her roll, she will shoot her enhanced attack, and it can hit and do damage to towers even if there's not minions in the vicinity. So it's kind of a very multifaceted ability. I like to use it when I'm trying to get away. So I'll be running away from an enemy, I'll roll, I'll make sure I stop for just a second in order to be able to shoot that ability, so I can do damage as I'm kiting and kind of running away. But tactical fire is a phenomenal ability. I use the movement speed bonus whenever I have to. And you always want to get up from tactical fire, because of the middle part of that. Let the tactical fire shoot, and you're basically going to try to auto attack twice real quick. Bang, bang. So that you can get the enhanced shot and then another normal attack with enhanced range. Works really, really well. Next, we're going to be talking about fire in the hole. I kind of already alluded to the basic secrets on this guy. A lot of times I will throw fire in the hole out in front of the enemy, because the enhanced attack from tactical fire does last quite a bit of time. So you're not like, you don't have to like shoot that as soon as you get up. You actually have a few seconds, way longer than you'd think, to be able to shoot tactical fire off. So you know, when you get up from your roll, feel free to do other things before you actually shoot off that enhanced attack. So when you get up from your tactical fire roll, you have the option of kind of doing whatever you want to do before you shoot that big enhanced shot. One of the things that I really like to do is either throw the fire in the hole out, or the tips and tricks for her ultimate is to throw her ult out. Now, if you time it just right, you can roll with tactical fire, and you can shoot out your concussive round, and then you shoot out your enhanced attack from tactical fire, and then another enhanced range normal attack. So you can literally roll, then you shoot the ultimate concussive rounds, and then you go pop pop. So you shoot in the big concussive round, it explodes, and by the time that that's hitting, you're already shooting your enhanced attack, and then you're shooting your enhanced normal, like the enhanced range normal attack. So you can actually almost one-shot people if you actually do that correctly. That is probably the biggest tip and trick I can give anyone playing Violet, is to learn how to use kind of that triple attack method, where you're hitting the concussive round, followed up by the tactical fire enhanced attack, and then the enhanced range on the next normal attack. You can literally just go boom, 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 and then it does some insane damage. You guys have seen Violet's damage. And if you really want to be able to maximize the damage you're doing on Violet, I definitely suggest that you guys check out the build on the next video, because my build is OP. It is a really, really phenomenal build. It's going to give you really high quality damage all game long, all the way to the end, and then you end up with full build being the baddest girl in town. I mean, it's ridiculous. So I'll leave you guys off with 2 more quick tips. Number 1, Violet is one of the best marksmen in the game to shoot while she's walking or running, so feel free to move and fire at the same time. She's very good at it. It doesn't really slow her down a ton. And number 2, if you have an enemy that you're chasing that runs under their tower, run along the circle, like the perimeter of the circle around, dive forward. You can actually dive around the tower circle, land on the edge, shoot the enemy with your tactical fire, enhanced normal attack, and the enhanced range normal attack. Potentially finish them off, even if they're like at a 3rd health. A lot of times you can do that without ever going under tower. Remember, can you go under tower and kill them? Sure you can, but you want to avoid that at all costs because you don't know what's lurking around the corner. Let's say you dive under tower, take a couple tower shots, finish the guy off. I'm walking out there feeling good about myself, and then boom, you get jumped by an assassin. Well, if you avoid the tower shots at all costs, like I'm talking about, you have a much better chance of putting up a legitimate fight. That is the final tips and tricks of this video guide. That's actually the end of the video. I appreciate you guys watching the part 1 of the Violet Hero Guide. I hope you guys enjoyed the tips and tricks and the descriptions of these abilities that are really going to help you guys take your Violet game to the next level. Check out video 2 and 3 when they come out. The compilation of all 3 parts of the guides are really going to make a difference for you guys in your Violet gameplay. But drop a like, subscribe if you haven't done that yet. Share the video with your friends who are looking to get good with Violet. And as always, guys, comment below and let me know what you guys think of Violet. I know a lot of you guys are going to tell me she's overpowered, but I challenge you to see how often you play with Violets who are not really that good. And then check out my live stream or my gameplay footage on Violet. And there's a big difference. I am going to do my best to help show you guys how to be the best Violet you can be and how to be really, really great with Violet. But thanks for watching, guys, and as always, till next time.